Now, you mentioned the Rangers pick, and I still think it's crazy that the Penguins have to wait until, what, 48
Yeah.
hours before
Mm,
the NHL draft to even know if they're going to have this. But let's say the Rangers, for some reason, who knows, say, you know what, Pittsburgh, you take 12 and you can have 11 and 12 this year. What to you would be the best case scenario in the realm of possibility? Obviously, it's not going to be Matthew Schaefer, Michael Misa, or yeah, at 11 and 12. But what is the best case scenario for the Penguins walking away from Friday night if they have 11 and 12?
yeah, I think for me it would be Victor Eklund at 11. Been there's just nobody I watched as much as him this year. I mean, I'm enamored with the kid. He's just a mini Chris Kunitz. You know, you think about the way Kunitz played and how aggressive he was, how much he hit people, he could finish. He was skilled enough to maintain on a line with Sidney Crosby and still get out there and create space and time for him. And that's what Victor Eklund is. He's the same kind of player. He's already pro. So he played. There's a promotion relegation system in Sweden, right? So you have like the top flight in Swedish. Then he was in Allsvenskan, which is the second league in Sweden, but was good enough along with Anton Frondell. And there's like that little team was loaded with prospects this year. They got promoted, so they're on the top. You got Drew Garden up to the top flight, along with like blast from the past year, but PJ Axelson on that team. So it's he's playing against men. That's what I'm trying to get at. Some of them are
Mhm.
very old, yes, but he's playing against men, and was, I mean, brutalizing them all year on the forecheck. Put people into the earth. And you go back and watch these games, and for me, like the reason I rank them I had him eighth in my ranking is because in the third period of games, defensemen were tapping out. Like they've taken a beating from him all night long. There's a dumped puck. He's going back to get it with the defenseman, and the defenseman's like, get it. I don't want I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? Like I've had enough. So people look at the size and they go, oh, small forward from Sweden. I'm like, you don't understand. Like you don't understand what you're getting with this player. Like he is an absolute hound on the forecheck and he makes things happen. And he's a really, really tough customer to deal with. I think second to that would be Kashawn Aitcheson. Who ended up being probably the prospect I watched the second most of this year, mostly because people really push back on me on this one. That's becoming like less and less of a thing. And like if you look at mock drafts now and like final rankings for people, Aitcheson's anywhere from 11 to 15 in most of those rankings. So I think people have caught up with me on this because I've been up here for a while. He's a game-changing defenseman. And a lot of people say, well, I have a hard time thinking of what his comp in the NHL would be. Me too. Don't care. Don't care. I'm not worried about it. Like, this is a unique player who, something that's very important to me is how much is a player impacting the game. Like, forget goals and assists, right? Like that, those are obvious things. But like, what actions are they taking on the ice that are affecting the momentum of that hockey game? How does their shifts impact the grand scheme of what's happening? Dude, like the Aitchison chart, like that is it's crazy. Like if you're giving it this test, like whether it's in the defensive zone, he's getting down, blocking shots. It's in the offensive zone where he's sneaking in between the dots and sniping one-timers like you think he was a fourth forward, or how he can carry it through the line between the blue lines. You throw the icing on the cake is he is just, I mean, brutalized people this year, put them out clean, not no dirty stuff on his record, like just icing them with his shoulder in the chest and separating their soul from their body. And I think and now, like, I'll be honest with you, he chases that sometimes. It's a problem. Like, I've got clips of him giving up a 2-on-1 because he thought he was going to take somebody's head off. He's 18. He's really big, strong, and fast. I would implore people to find me an 18-year-old with those skills, with that kind of like bloodlust that didn't have that problem and
Mhm.
eventually get rid of it. Like people say, oh, he chases hits. They all did. Like that's what happens when you're 18 years old. Like the idea that you can't coach that out of him is like bizarre to me. And then I think there's people put this wet blanket on his offensive skill. I looked at some data from Lassie Allen and Mitch Brown, who track CHL stats by hand. They watch
Mhm.
CHL games, they do the tracking by hand. Defensemen, forwards across the entire CHL. I'm not talking about Ontario. The whole of it, forwards and defensemen, Aitcheson's the 90th plus percentile of zone entries with the puck. I don't know how you can. I don't know how people look at that data and then somehow say, "Well, I don't think his offensive upside's that high. I don't think he was that good at carrying the puck." So I got bad news for you. The data doesn't agree with you. Like the data agrees with me. So I rest my head on the pillow very comfortably, thinking that Aitcheson's going to be very comfortable with the puck at higher levels and is not going to have any issues with that. People throw out like the Trouba term, like they say that's a name. I don't think Trouba was really ever this good with the puck. I don't think I ever really saw him down between the dots, letting shots go or sneaking into the play the way Aitcheson does. And I think Aitcheson's a project. He's a powerful skater, but sometimes there's a lot of energy that's wasted in his stride. So he's like working really hard and is not like the length and speed with which he's gaining don't reflect the output that he's putting into it, which will come. That'll come with time. They'll get him. The skating coach will fix that right up. And then I mentioned before, like sometimes he gets a little crazy with the I'm going to kill this person thing, like chases that around, but I think that'll get fixed too. But I think you come away with Eklund and Aitcheson, you've gotten a lot meaner. I think about Victor Eklund playing on a line with Tanner Howe in the future and how absolutely nightmarish that would be for other teams. Like Tanner Howe is an animal in a very similar way to the way that Eklund is. So yeah, I think I love guys like Jake O'Brien, and I would put them like they're not going on my endorsement list because I don't think they're going to be there, right? So like I'm not going to waste time talking about it. I think they're going to be gone. Like I think I had a hope for O'Brien for a while. I still do. Like in terms of like the late risers, he's not necessarily spoken about in the same way as some of the other guys like Brady Martin are. So there's still a chance it could happen. And it also depends on like how the runs work. Like will center runs start first or will defenseman runs start first? And how does that impact what happens? I mean, I do think there's going to be a center run that happens somewhere like right away. And it could lead to like 5 straight centers getting picked. And if that's the case, O'Brien's going to be the 5th one, and it'll be before 11. But if you get like a D run in there, if like somebody like hiccups and takes Radim Murtka, I could see that triggering a fallout where somebody's like, well, I'm going to do the same thing. So there's just the possibilities are endless. Like this is going to be a really chaotic experience after the first pick first. Because I think like somebody could go at 2 and fumble and not take Michael Meeson. That'd be stupid. And I think it could happen. So who knows what's going to take place. But I think those are the 2 best realistic options for me, as far as like these guys should definitely be there when they step to the podium.
And a lot of talent, which is great. But the thing that I love about it is the physicality too, which a lot of people are hoping for in that next iteration, that next generation for the Penguins. But yeah, the 3 guys that we've talked about, Martone, Eklund, and certainly Aitcheson, you just look at those 3 and you're like, yep, that fits the mold of what I think a lot of people want to see going forward. So I love that answer.
Yeah. And I like Aitcheson again, is just fun to watch, a lot of what Barry did in the playoffs this year went through him. Like he had, probably 3 at least signature moments in the playoff run, big overtime goals, whatever it was, devastating checks. He was, there was one instance where he just absolutely destroyed someone and had his gloves drop before he got up. Like he knew it was coming. You know what I mean? Like he knew it was coming. So he was just ready to go, turn around. There he is, beat the kid up, and then did a lap. Like did a lap around the rink at home, like just giving everybody the let's go. And the officials are like dragging him to the box. And I'm like, this is great. Like who doesn't want this? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. And he scored later. So it's like even better. So I don't know how you look at this stuff. And now I get the reservations people have. And, it's not, I don't want to paint him as like a perfect prospect. He's got warts for sure. But every single prospect from 6 to 17 has warts, you're not going to find one that doesn't. That's what this draft is. There's a lot of potential NHL talent in this draft, but I just don't know how much of it is above like top or middle pairing defense, right? Like that's sort of like where a lot of the ceilings are at. So, it is what it is, but I think you're hard pressed to find, impact players like those 2 around that area.